Hey guys, it's me, and welcome to Trevor Miller Entertainment, where comic books meet musical theater. Do you like that? It's a work in progress. If you don't like it, I can workshop something else. Came to me earlier today, because that is the majority of what this channel deals with, is musical theater stuff and comic book stuff, because those are the two things that interest me the most. But whatever, I'm not here to workshop it. This video isn't about workshopping intros with you guys. So we're actually here to talk about probably the weirdest almost DC movie ever. Green Lantern, the canceled Green Lantern movie starring Jack Black. Honestly, he actually would be a decent choice if he weren't fat and all his characters were more light, were not basically just him. But, yeah, it also was gonna have John Travolta as Sinestro, so anyway, so I need to remind you guys again, my favorite is Superman, so I'm more knowledgeable about Superman stuff. With that being said, I am a huge fan of the rest of the league, and I'm a huge fan of both DC and Marvel, of course, or else all my DC versus Marvel comparisons would be probably one-sided. One-sided. I try to keep those as fair as possible, with keeping in mind I do have a slight preference towards DC. Anyway, let's quit getting distracted by what my main thing is. Despite forgetting about this project until today, I did do my research, so I think I have enough of a knowledge where I'm valid on doing this. So it was going to be inspired by the Emerald Dawn storyline, which was essentially Hal Jordan's Superman engine, Hal Jordan's Byrne Superman, and Perez Wonder Woman, so like rebranding his origin after Crisis. But they weren't going to use Hal Jordan, and that's because, now, if you've followed my channel, I may have mentioned this like once or twice. I don't think I've mentioned it a lot. Casually Comics is one of the people who inspires me as my comic book source, and she's even said this, even though he's her favorite Green Lantern as far as I can tell. Hal Jordan, by the public eye, was deemed boring by this point. That's part of why they turned him into a villain and gave the focus to Kyle, old Rayner. So instead, they were creating a new Green Lantern for the movie named Judd Plato. And he was going to be like a very different person from Hal Jordan. He was gonna, instead of being a test pilot, he was gonna be a convenience store worker, but also on like this reality show where he eats weird stuff like coyote heads or snakes. Yeah, spoiler alert, I see why this got canceled. But his origin, compared to any other Green Lantern, was, oh yeah, I got Super Friends in the mail today, the complete collection. Anyway, enough on that, because this is about this canceled Green Lantern project. So his origin was gonna follow more closely Hal's than any other Green Lanterns, of course, because Hal is still the popular Hal's origin is still more popular than the other Green Lanterns. So Abin Sur's ring was gonna choose him because of course he knows how to overcome great fear. He does a reality show where he eats a bunch of nonsense. And it would... And after the ring chooses him, he would struggle with doing the right thing versus doing what he wants. Also, he was going to have the same idea as Hal, where his, like, love interest, or at first in the movie at least, was gonna be his boss at the convenience store he also works at. And so, there was going to be a scene where he constructs Britney Spears to perform for him, and then there was going to be also a scene where he stops a bank robbery with a condom. Yeah, I heard that part, and that was what made me say, okay, I could see where this got canceled. Okay. But the villains sound actually kind of interesting. There was gonna be, like, this one villain called Legion, who was this merged version of this alien race. Also directly adapted from Emerald Dawn. They were gonna have my favorite scene from that comic directly adapted, where he's fighting a guy in yellow armor and his ring doesn't work. But to be fair, I don't even know if they were gonna keep the best part of that point in the comic where he changes back into Hal/Judd, and the villain right in front of him, and he still doesn't put it together. But anyway, so other than Legion, like I said, there was going to be John Travolta as Sinestro, which I don't particularly see that casting, but he's great. He actually probably could have won me over if they actually went through with this movie. He was gonna be, in fact, in the mindset that he's doing the right thing, which does kind of make sense for, like, a take on Sinestro. He used to be a Green Lantern, so maybe if done right, they could have actually merged Sinestro in with Parallax Hal, where he thought he was doing the right thing, and that actually made him more dangerous when being possessed by the Parallax entity. Yeah, I think that could have been interesting, actually. And they were gonna have him win. This part also actually sounds pretty good. They were gonna have him win by constructing a Superman construct to spin around the Earth and reverse time, which I would have loved that, because as you know, Christopher Reeve's Superman are my favorite superhero movies, and I've listed them on my Letterboxd account as one of my 4 favorite movies. I listed Aladdin, Mighty Ducks, Superman the movie, and Spider-Man 2002. So I actually would have been entertained by that scene. Don't know about any of you, but I would have. Also, he was gonna switch love interests in the movie. But anyway, so, yeah, that's about as much details as I could gather about this movie. That they were gonna have Jack Black be Green Lantern, John Travolta be Sinestro, all this questionable stuff, like making it Judd Plato instead of Hal Jordan, and just questionable scenes, but also entertaining scenes, and the villains would have at least been interesting. Would this movie have been good? You know, when I was thinking about doing this video, I thought I was gonna say I don't know and maybe, but after researching the movie, I've gotta say no. The constructing Superman to time travel would have been interesting, would have been at least entertaining to me. But with all the, like, inappropriate jokes they were gonna make, and also, he at least would have used the ring in, like, a Kyle Rayner type way, where he makes all the stuff that actually would have been great, but the thing is, all these and the villains would have been entertaining, but all these inappropriate jokes, and then just the questionable decision of using a new guy instead of any previous Green Lantern, I don't know that I would have been on board with the decision. Oh, also, why did it get canceled? Same reason I'm telling you, same stuff I'm telling you. People heard the information they brought out and protested against it, and then, they realized maybe we shouldn't make a Green Lantern comedy movie and should just go for, just direct Green Lantern serious movie, which became the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie. You're probably expecting me to say, look how that turned out, aren't you? Nope, I don't have a problem with the Ryan Reynolds movie. It's not a flawless movie, but it was pretty good. Then again, like I said, I am more of a Superman fan, but I thought they at least tried to follow the source material for Green Lantern pretty well and stuff, and yeah, so yeah. Anyway, what would I have compared? Do I think would have been its Marvel equivalent? Its Marvel comparison? That Human Torch movie they were planning in the 80s that stopped New Fantastic Four from using him and stopped and caused the creation of Firestar because Spider-Man and his amazing friends couldn't use him. I feel like I haven't heard enough about that, but I think it would have. So yeah, then hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe if you want to. Comment below what you think how you think this movie would have been, and let me know if you liked the idea of me using that kind of intro where I say this channel's where comic books meet musical theater, and just that whole intro, or if you have a better idea for the intro. And I'll see you next time. Bye!